Okay, I'm outside. My video recording cut off, so I'm going to start over again. There's my reference hole up there. If you follow this pipe up, you see my reference hole, all my measurements. I've marked it here in red. Approximately 32 inches over, which is 2 cinder blocks, 1, 2, puts us here where my walk-in cooler wall is going to be. I've marked it 4 inches wide. I left a little bit of space. The walk-in cooler wall has to be there because those green tubes have to be inside the cooler. That's where our chilled beer lines come up. So those can't be moved. Our walk-in cooler wall's there. From the right edge of this walk-in cooler wall all the way to this wood is approximately 64 inches, which means that wood wall can be moved this way about 63 inches. To be safe, we should probably have a little bit of space in between the two, so we can bring our patio that way. When the patio cement gets poured, it needs to be ADA compliant. That horizontal mortar line there, this has already been poured to be even with that. We'll continue the patio at the same height. This is 15 inches from here to here. I said it in another video, but I'll say it here again. As far as panels, this is the doorway for the walk-in cooler. Standard door, 40.5 inches wide, 88 and some change tall. It basically goes to the top of that grout line. So your walk-in cooler panel would be one more cinder block up. That would be an 8-foot wall, one more mortar line up, or cement. What is it? Yeah, brick and mortar, mortar line. Yeah. So one more mortar line up. That's how high our panel would be. It's an 8-foot panel. And if you look over, you follow that line. 8-foot panel fits underneath the awning, and it'll even fit underneath the awning on the short side. For Ken Pegler's reference again, there's a pillar here holding up the awning, but we're gonna have to extend the pillar just over here, so we'll have to have another pillar right here to extend the awning over. He'll want to know that. And for Leo's reference, the top edge of the awning is 112 inches up the wall, but you gotta go like 9 inches to get below the awning. So 112 minus 9 is 103 inches. So that's a little bit shy of 9 feet. 108 inches is 9 feet. So it's 5 inches below 9 feet. So that's where he punches through the wall. I'll write that measurement down somewhere else. I've measured some distances from the western edge of this doorway. The door is 40.5. Over here to where the small section of the walk-in cooler begins, that is 122, roughly 122.25. And to the other section over here, that is 20.5, or I'm sorry, 220.5. Okay. I have two measurements written down from my inside measurements. One was 355 inches from the inside of the kitchen wall to the wall that separates the manager office from the snack area. And then from the outside of the manager wall to the edge of this doorway where my tape is, that's another 50.5 inches. If you take 355 and add 50.5, you end up with 405.5 inches. 405.5 inches is this blue line. This is the inside of the cinder block wall that separates Sky Spa from the club. But the concrete slab was only poured to there. So that's where the walk-in cooler is going to go, and that's what this yellow line on the wall is. This is where our cooler panel is going to go. I'm going to shut their door. Okay, so that's the cooler panel right there. This is the seam in the wall that we saw on the inside. Same seam that they cut the doorway with, and they went 40.5 inches from the seam over that way. So there's my 40.5 inches over there. This is where the walk-in cooler door comes into the kitchen section of the cooler. So you can get a sense for, we'll probably put a partition right here, and that's how big your cooler is going to be, from that yellow line on the wall just past the door all the way to about right here where that seam is in the wall, minus whatever your section is that walls it off. You'll put a 4-inch wall right here on this slab, and that's how wide this section is going to be. And then this little section will be part of the liquor area. This door is between the manager office on this side, and over here is the snack area. So this doorway, if I were to walk through this wall right now, I would be facing the VIP bar, but I would be to the left of the snack bar, the deli case, as I walk out from behind the bar counter. So we got to figure out, this is a question for Francis and for Harry, where you want the partition wall to be on this side of the doorway between the chilled area, because over here is for kegs of beer and for your cases of beer in bottles, and over here is your liquor storage. So you want to figure out, I would assume that you probably want the partition close here so you have room. You can probably put your 24-inch deep shelves here and have liquor shelves on this wall right here facing this. We'll have to put a light out here, of course. And then you'll probably want another shelf over here. But you're going to want some kind of a wall. And Harry was talking about maybe we should have a insulated door separating the liquor room from the beer room. So you walk through the beer room to get to the liquor, and we'll put a padlock on it, as opposed to cutting a third hole through the wall and taking up some of the manager office space on the inside. So that's a question for Harry and Francis to talk about. Do we need a third doorway that leads from the manager's office into the liquor room, or can we have that doorway from the beer section of the cooler into the liquor room and just have an insulated door here that you put a padlock on it, and that way the manager lets the bar backs in to get their bottles of liquor when they need to restock the bar? That's a question for you guys to figure out. If so, then I'll mark where the door goes, but I can't mark it until then. All right, I'm gonna stop this video for today. I think I've done all the damage I can do.